Hey, what's going on, guys? JTK here. Welcome back to another video. In this one today, we are going to be doing the top 10 best zombies map of all time. Now, this one is definitely going to be a very controversial list. All going to be personal bias, no special criteria or anything, just my personal favorite maps. And yeah, let's just jump right into it. Alright, so coming in for our number 10 spot, this is going to be the Final Reich from World War II. Now, quickly forgot to explain that pretty much we are going to be including every single zombies map ever. That includes non-Treyarch zombies games as well. And I do truly think that the Final Reich is definitely up there with some of the best maps of all time. I really like the journal idea where you had two Easter egg sides. It's kind of the only map that did the two Easter egg kind of thing like perfectly. I don't think there's any other map that kind of does two Easter eggs in one map very well compared to the map like Final Reich. I really also like the boss as well, the Panzer Motor towards the end. Just a very great boss. Everything on this map is just very solid. It kind of just sucks though that it's on World War II. Like, the graphics don't really look that good, and the overall vibe and tone for that game is just very moody and not very fun. But if you're looking at it just from like a gameplay standpoint, the Final Reich is actually a really good high tier map, and for me is my personal top 10. So for that, I'm going to be putting it at the top 10. Now, next up on our list, we have Blood of the Dead. Now, I know a lot of people are probably going to hate me for this one as well, but Blood of the Dead, I don't really ever see the bad side of it. Like, I can kind of understand why people hate the map a lot, but for me personally, I actually really enjoy Blood of the Dead a whole ton. It's constantly one of the Black Ops 4 maps that I constantly go back to play over and over again whenever I'm just bored and I just want to kill zombies on Black Ops 4. For me, that's kind of the easiest map to play on in terms of just killing zombies. Now, I know the Easter egg is definitely the hardest out there in terms of Easter eggs to play on. It kind of has that good dynamic, though, in a way where if you want to do the Easter egg, you really got to do your research. But if you just want to hop on the map, kill some zombies, it's really not that bad of an experience. I would honestly recommend this for like a round 100 if you're starting to do round 100s and whatnot. This is a really good, fun map to do a round 100 on. And I really do like the new upgrades that they put to the Blundergat as well with the Magma Gat. Honestly, just makes it a lot more better and actually like viable towards the high rounds. I remember back in Black Ops 2 during normal Mob of the Dead, you couldn't use the Vitrolic Withering past like round 20. It would start shitting out. But with a Magma Gat, you can kind of just use it forever. So for that, I do really like some of the changes. Granted, it's not really the best in other ways as well. You have bad changes like removing the Golden Gate Bridge. Obviously, that's such a iconic thing that made Mob of the Dead so well known, and to just remove it is kind of an L. But it still kind of has that same Mob of the Dead kind of feel to it. I do like the story a lot. Definitely has the best cinematics we have ever seen in any zombies map ever. And for that, I do think it does deserve top 10, and I'm going to be putting it just right above World War II because I think it'd be criminal if I didn't. So for that, I'm going to be putting it at the number 9 spot. Coming up, number 8 on our list, another just shocker of a map. It's going to be Verruckt. Now, Verruckt, for me, I really love Verruckt. I think it's probably my favorite survival map of all time. I specifically like the Black Ops 3 one because I remember back in the day during the first ZWC, it was one of the challenges to get the highest round on Verruckt with no jug. And I actually had the record for a bit for like round 49, and then it got destroyed like a couple weeks later. But that's kind of like the good memories I had on that map. It's very fast paced, and that's what I kind of like in zombies, to just load into the map and you can get set up by like 5 minutes. And that is just a really good thing that I do love about Verruckt, because the spawns are really quick, get you right in the action right away in terms of survival maps. Only downside is that it doesn't have a pack-a-punch, but again, on Black Ops 3, you can use like crate powers and gobblegums and whatnot. That's kind of why I specifically like the Black Ops 3 version a little bit more. You also have the Wonderwaff as well. I remember camping into like that meat locker room up until like the late 50s using just the Wonderwaff, and it was just a lot of fun overall. And honestly, I have a lot of good memories on Verruckt compared to any other survival map ever in zombies. So for that, I'm going to be putting it at the number 8 spot. Now, coming in at our number 7 spot, we have good old classic Mob of the Dead. Now, I do think Mob of the Dead is definitely better than Blood of the Dead, and that all kind of just comes down to both the atmosphere it feels like you're in a movie whenever you play Mob of the Dead. I know Patrick always saying that, but other than that though, it is just very well to a casual player as well. I feel like with Blood of the Dead, it's very hard for a casual player to start into that map, and that's kind of another downside with Blood. But with Mob of the Dead, doesn't matter if you're a hardcore player, doesn't matter if you're a casual player, it's a map for everyone, and it kind of just comes down to the Afterlife mode. I think the Afterlife mode really carries this map to the top in my opinion, and it just makes it accessible to all types of players, and it's kind of what saved Black Ops 2 after we got like the horrible Transit and Die Rise and whatnot. This is kind of what started like the good Jason Blundell streak with Mob of the Dead, Origins, Shadows, DE, maps we'll get onto later, but Mob of the Dead, I don't think it's one of the best. I don't even think it's top 5, but it definitely is a top 10 for me, and it would be criminal to not put it on this top 10 list. So for that, I'm going to be putting it at the number 7 spot. Coming in at our number 6 spot, this is going to be Verruckt Crovey. Now, Verruckt Crovey, another fast-paced map. I really do like my fast-paced maps when I play zombies. You can instantly jump into the action, and it kind of rewards you for playing fast, because if you kill all the zombies from rounds 1 to round 5 in under 5 minutes, then you get to get the melee weapons, and then you can carry on to like round 10 in under 12 minutes and so on. And that's just a really cool feature, and Verruckt Crovey was kind of the first to do it in that way. It also introduced all the masks as well, like the Valkyrie mask and all that stuff. Just little add-ons to just make the gameplay a lot better. And it kind of does what I wish every single zombies map would do. It takes a really good formula and then just adds on to it, like all the stuff that I've already said. And you also get cool cutscenes as well, like with the dragon and whatnot. A phenomenal boss fight in terms of a spectacle, because you get to fight Nikolai and the dragon, which is just very, very great overall. Couple complaints that I do have with it though is that some of the Easter egg steps are kind of ass. That Valve step where you have to pull up Mr. Waffle Waffle's Canorium every single time I do it, it's kind of bad. But other than that though, I don't really hate too much with Verruckt Crovey. There's just not much that I like compared to other maps, so for that, I'm going to put it at the number 6 spot. Now, moving into our top 5 maps, I don't care what anybody says about this one. Zombies in Spaceland is definitely a top 5 for me. I recently just reinstalled Infinite Warfare, so I was able to actually play Zombies in Spaceland again yesterday, and it was very, very fun, in my opinion. There's a lot of just cool things that I've missed on this map. Like, I go back through to play it, and there's just so many different things that I kind of just rediscover, and I'm like, wow, that just blows me away in a way. There's a lot of cool, fun stuff to do, like the rides. The ticket system is very fun as well. It's kind of like Shadows of Evil 2, but on IW system, which is a little goofy. It makes it somewhat worse in a way, because you have pretty bad characters in all honesty. But looking at it from a gameplay standpoint, Zombies in Spaceland is definitely really fun. I do like the Easter egg as well. Granted, killing the aliens at the end can be very, very challenging, but it is rewarding, because towards the end, when you do the super Easter egg and whatnot, you get Mephistopheles, you get that director's cut mode where you can do all the bosses and whatnot. It's just really fun map, and was a perfect way to start off with IW. It's just kind of a shame that IW wasn't able to kind of finish off the rest of the season with really good maps. It kind of just started with very, very strong Zombies in Spaceland, and then we ended off with Beast from Beyond. But other than that though, I have not much bad to say about Zombies in Spaceland. I do like it more than Guerrilla. I do like it more than Mob. So for that, I'm going to be putting it at the number 5 spot. Now, coming in for our number 4 spot, we're now moving on to the more definitively best zombies map of all time. I would say we have Origins. Now, Origins, if we were just doing this based off of Easter eggs, I would probably put this map on number 1. Because every time I load up this map, I just find myself doing the Easter egg every single time. Because I'm like, okay, let me build a staff. And then I end up just building all the staffs. And then I'm like, oh, well, I'm almost done with the Easter egg, so I might as well finish it. So for that, it definitely is a really good addicting map in that sense. It's also probably still the best map to speedrun on. Like, Origin speedruns are definitely the most popular speedruns of all time in zombies. So for that, definitely up there in terms of the Easter egg. I don't really like the mud though. It's very annoying to move through if you don't have the Boom Hilda. If you're not a skilled player, it can be very, very annoying to move through the mud. Panzer, it's a really good boss. I can pretty much just make like a whole video on Origins that's like 20 minutes long if I really wanted to. There's just so much content on that map, and for that, it's kind of criminal to not put it in like your top 5. maybe even your top 10 if you're feeling that way. But for me, I remember Origins was probably one of the first maps I played too, because I did get into Black Ops 2. That was my first game. And starting off with Transit and Die Rise, ending off with Origins, it was a roller coaster of emotions for me. So for that, I'm definitely going to be putting Origins at the number 4 spot. Now, coming in at our number 3 spot, we have Shadows of Evil. Now, Shadows of Evil, it's unlike any map we've seen before. From going from Black Ops 1 to Black Ops 2, you can kind of tell that there's some similarities there. Black Ops 2 to Black Ops 3, though, it's just a completely different game changer. With Shadows of Evil, it was an explosion of content, and it's mainly just for the hardcore players overall. Like, you have the Giant for the casual players, and then Shadows of Evil is only for hardcores, I would think, and that's kind of the drawback that I have with it, is that it's not a map for everyone. Like, you need to look up a guide that's like 10 minutes long just to open up the Pack-a-Punch, which is a little ridiculous, but if you're a hardcore player, it's actually like really enjoyable and fun to do. Another great speedrun map as well. I know Noah J loves those speedruns, but other than that though, I do really like the Margwa. I think it is definitely one of the best mini bosses that we have ever gotten of all time, and all the other side bosses that they've added, like the meatballs or the parasites, they're alright. I don't really feel annoyed when I go against one, but I don't really like them either. So I don't know, Shadows of Evil, it's just a very good map overall, but for me, I can't put it much higher because it does have a huge skill barrier. If you're not a hardcore player, you're definitely not going to like it. So for that, I'm going to be putting it at the number 3 spot. Now, coming in at our number 2 spot, we have Horizon Jack. Now, Horizon Jack, it's a very good all-around map. There's nothing bad about Horizon Jack that I can say, except for maybe doing the whisk step multiple times. But other than that, though, it's a map that appeals to everyone. It has an Easter egg that's not too hard, but also not too easy. And that just makes it available for everyone, regardless of your skill. If you're a hardcore player, it's fun to do because it's not too hard, but it's not too easy either. If you're a casual player, it can be a little bit challenging, but that little bit of challenge is what urges people to play even more. And I remember that this DLC 1 map had more players than the on-disc map, Shadows of Evil, which I don't think I've ever seen in any zombies game before. So it would be criminal to not put it above Shadows of Evil in that sense. It also has all the bows, which are phenomenal wonder weapons, Return of the Panzer. It's kind of just a mix of Mob of the Dead in terms of atmosphere, mixed with Origins in terms of the gameplay. And I do really enjoy it a lot. Only complaint that I do have with it is that whisk step, where you have to do it multiple times. I feel like the second time is just a little bit repetitive, but if that's all I can complain about with the map, it still is a very good map. But yeah, I do think it does deserve the top 3, obviously. So for that, I'm going to be putting it at the number 2. Now, I'm going to quickly throw this map in as an honorable mention. 9 is also just a very good map that I love. If this was a top 11 list, I would definitely put 9 at number 11. But unfortunately for me, 9 just has way too many bosses on the map to kind of make me put it anywhere near the top 10. So it is an honorable mention, definitely a map that I like, especially BO4 fans always love 9, but for me, not my taste, so for that, it's just going to be an honorable mention. Now, coming in at our number 1 spot, don't click off the video yet, let me explain. Ancient Evil is personally my favorite map of all time. I do love the gauntlets more than any of the elemental weapons that we have gotten in any previous zombies game. I also really love the atmosphere. Like, if Horizon Jack and Mob of the Dead had a good atmosphere, Ancient Evil would have a great one. And that's saying a lot, especially for a Chaos map. Like, I really don't like the Chaos crew that much, but this map kind of just blows it out of the park in terms of gameplay. I love the steps in this Easter egg. It's both a mixture of very hard steps and fun steps to do. You have a sharpshooter step from Buried. It just takes all the best steps from all the zombies game, kind of mix it into one. This was also the first map to introduce challenges and trials as well, which would become a huge theme for every single zombies game after that, like Cold War and Vanguard. And overall, I do think Ancient Evil was kind of that map that brought people back to Black Ops 4, which people thought would be impossible, but Ancient Evil was able to do it. And for that, it definitely is my favorite map of all time. And it's just, I don't really think there's anything else that can top it. I would say that Horizon Drac is close. I usually switch Horizon Drac and Ancient Evil a lot. Sometimes if I'm feeling more Horizon Drac, I'll put Horizon Drac above. Other times though, especially right now, I do think I love Ancient Evil a lot more. So for that, it is personally my favorite map of all time. Anyways guys, hopefully you did enjoy that video. If you did enjoy, definitely leave a like, subscribe, do all that. Leave a comment down below if you want to see me do anything else. And sorry for being gone for a while. I know it's been like 5 days since I made an upload and whatnot. I've been doing some college stuff, getting registered and all that. I'm going to be starting college soon. I also have a part-time job, so all that's kind of taking up my schedule right now. I'm very exhausted in making videos at the moment. I'm going to try and do 2 videos a week. I still really love and enjoy making videos for you guys and whatnot. It's just a fun little side hobby that I've been doing, and it's something that I just want to continue for the future, so definitely leave some support for that and whatnot. And yeah, I got nothing much else to say, so peace.